A 542-foot Navy ship carrying 309 people vanished in broad daylight, and the Navy's official explanation still makes no sense. Walk with me to this corner of the exhibit. What you're looking at is the manifest from March 1918, the last official record of the USS Cyclops before she disappeared in the Atlantic Ocean. The ship left Barbados on March 4th, bound for Baltimore with a cargo of manganese ore, a mineral critical to wartime steel production. By March 10th, she was gone. No distress signal, no wreckage, no bodies, just gone. The Cyclops was a massive collier, a coal transport vessel repurposed for the Navy during the First World War. She was 542 feet long, displaced 19,000 tons, and was considered one of the Navy's most reliable ships. Her captain was John Frederick, a decorated officer with decades of experience. By every measure, this wasn't a vessel or crew destined for catastrophe. Exhibit 1, the weather reports. The passage she took, from Barbados through the Sargasso Sea toward the Virginia Capes, was not stormy. In fact, radio operators aboard nearby vessels reported calm conditions. No typhoons, no freak waves. The sea, by all accounts, was cooperative. Exhibit 2, the cargo itself. Manganese ore is heavy, brutally heavy. The Cyclops was loaded with 800 tons of it packed into her hold. Now, here's where it gets peculiar. Some naval engineers later suggested the ore may have shifted during the voyage, destabilizing the vessel. But there's a problem with that theory, and I'll show you why in a moment. Exhibit 3, the radio silence. The Cyclops carried state-of-the-art wireless equipment. On March 9th, she transmitted a routine position report. The next morning, nothing, not a distress call, not a final message, not even static. It was as if someone had simply switched off the transmitter and walked away. When the ship failed to arrive in Baltimore on schedule, the Navy launched what became one of the first large-scale naval search operations. They deployed destroyers, cutters, and patrol vessels across thousands of square miles. They found nothing, not a single plank, not a lifeboat, not a life jacket. The ocean had swallowed the Cyclops whole. The official Navy investigation concluded in 1919, and here's where the irony cuts deepest. They couldn't determine what happened. The report suggested the manganese ore had shifted, causing the hull to fail. But that doesn't explain the lack of debris. It doesn't explain why no one transmitted a distress signal, and it doesn't explain why a modern warship simply ceased to exist. Over the decades, alternative theories emerged. Some historians proposed she was sabotaged, that a German submarine operating in Atlantic waters had sunk her without warning. It's plausible. Germany was conducting unrestricted submarine warfare, but there's no evidence, no wreckage, no contemporary German naval records confirming the kill. Others suggested mutiny. The Cyclops' crew included coal stokers, many of them working under harsh conditions. Maybe they rebelled, maybe Captain Frederick was overthrown, but mutineers don't erase a ship from the ocean. They don't vanish without trace. A third theory focuses on structural failure. The Cyclops was an older vessel, built in 1910. Her hull had endured years of service. Perhaps metal fatigue, combined with the weight of the cargo, caused a catastrophic rupture. She sank so quickly that no one had time to send a distress signal. It's the most scientifically grounded explanation, and also the least satisfying. But here's what troubles me most, standing right here in front of these documents. The Navy never found wreckage, not a rivet, not a boiler plate. In 1968, a salvage company claimed to have located the Cyclops on the ocean floor using sonar. They never recovered anything. The claim was never verified. What makes the Cyclops unique among maritime disasters is the absence of evidence itself. The Titanic left wreckage spread across the Atlantic floor. The Lusitania left survivors with stories. The Cyclops left nothing but a gap in the historical record, and 309 families with no grave to visit. The Navy's conclusion that she sank due to cargo shift or structural failure remains the official explanation. It's reasonable, it's cautious, but it's also an admission of uncertainty. They were saying, we don't know. And in 1918, in the middle of a global war, that answer wasn't satisfying to anyone. One more thing worth noting, the Cyclops disappeared during a pivotal moment in the war. America had just entered the conflict. Losing a ship carrying vital war materials was a blow, not just logistical, but psychological. The Navy needed answers. When they couldn't provide them, silence became policy. Today, the USS Cyclops remains the largest warship ever to vanish without a trace. She's not the most famous maritime mystery, the Mary Celeste holds that crown, but she's perhaps the most complete disappearance. The Cyclops didn't leave a calling card, she didn't leave a clue, she simply stopped existing. The families of the 309 crew members filed claims. Some received compensation, most received condolences, but they never received answers. And more than a century later, the ocean still guards its secret. The Cyclops rests somewhere in those waters, and she's keeping her story to herself. So when you ask what happened to the USS Cyclops, the most honest answer is this: we don't know. It was almost certainly a maritime accident, catastrophic failure of either the vessel or the cargo. But without wreckage, without survivors, without evidence, we're left guessing. And sometimes, that's the only mystery worth remembering. Subscribe, we uncover a new unsolved case from history every week.